Support comes from the Janice Hawkins Cultural Arts Park on the main campus of Troy University, featuring the International Arts Center, the Fred Nall Hollis Museum, and the Huabaoju Gallery. More information at troy.edu/artspark.
From Troy Public Radio, this is The Exchange from In Focus, and I'm Carolyn Hutchison. The Better Business Bureau is reporting a spike in employment scams. Vice President Evie Owen of the Better Business Bureau in South Alabama has studied those statistics, and today she shares tips on how to avoid fraudulent job opportunities. Evie Owen, welcome back to Troy Public Radio.
Thank you so much for having me, Carolyn. It's good to be here.
The Better Business Bureau just did a study about employment. What did you find out?
That's right. Well, we've known for years that employment scams are happening all the time around us, but this new report that came out just showed us how much of an increase that we really have seen over the last couple of years, especially in 2025. Over the past 3 years, we've had over 50,000 reports to the BBB scam tracker from people who have been targeted with employment scams. And what's crazy about that number is almost half of those reports, 23,000, actually came in just in 2025. So the scammers really found something there that they liked seeing and have just been hitting it really hard.
So what is the overall problem?
Well, ever since COVID, people have been looking for more flexibility, work from home jobs. And as we know, with the economy how it is and inflation, everything's more expensive. More people are working second jobs and third jobs. They're working a few hours here and there that they can pick up. And the scammers know that. And so they hit us where we want. They hit us where we're weak. And they try to give us what we're looking for, which is those flexible work from home jobs where you can just work a few hours and pick up several $100s. And they know that now.
So how are they scamming people? What's the come on?
One of the interesting things that the BBB found in this study was that the channel that they are hitting people with now is actually text-based a whole lot of the times. So the text channel has just absolutely exploded in 2025. Probably everybody listening has gotten one at some point where you get a text message that says, are you looking for a job where you can work 2 hours a day and get $500 guaranteed and $2,000 in the first week? Text back some basic number. And of course, they use real businesses' names. You'll see Amazon, Microsoft, all the big dogs. You'll see all the businesses represented there by these scammers. They know we're accessible through text message right now. So it's very common.
Are there any red flags to look out for?
So these are pretty easy red flags. If you get contacted out of the blue with a job offer that you did not apply for, then that's a huge red flag. That means that they are just casting a broad net and they're trying to hook anybody that they can. And this is another easy red flag. If they give you the job without ever interviewing you, huge red flag. Any legitimate employer is not going to hire somebody that they have never talked to, seen their resume, just learned anything about them. And of course, that interview doesn't have to be in person. It's best if it's in person because that's the best way not to get scammed. But in the world of digital technology right now, a lot of interviews are conducted over video, which is fine. And if there's a high pressure offer to take the job immediately, hey, this offer is only good for today. You can't think about it overnight. You've got to accept right now, or this job offer won't be here tomorrow. That's a huge red flag.
How does a job seeker practice self-defense?
Of course, if you are contacted through a job, I know a lot of people when they're looking for jobs, it's really hard right now. Number one, the job market is just very tough, and I understand that. And you're probably sending out tons of resumes. You're applying for tons of jobs. So sometimes it's hard to remember what you even applied for. But just stop and think to yourself, did I apply for this job? Confirm that first. And then also research the job. Look up their website, see if the job is posted. If you can't find anything like that, call them. And don't call the number that's in the email that they contacted you from or in the text message that they contacted you from. Go to Google, type in the business name, call that number. See if you can talk to somebody and say, I'm just doing my due diligence. Just want to check and make sure this is a real job before I actually go through with an interview or send them my new employee information. Sometimes that alone right there will just go ahead and they'll say, nope, sorry, we've already gotten 10 calls this week from other people who have said that they have been contacted about a job here. We're not even hiring right now. So go ahead and do that. Also remember to never pay a business to get your paycheck. If this new employer is telling you that you have to pay a fee or that they overpaid you or that you have to complete these tasks that include payment to get your paycheck, then that's a scam. Just go ahead and know that. So never do that. And then avoid the jobs that pay you to interact. If you are approached with a job that says, we just need you to watch or like or subscribe to these videos or go online and do these 5 tasks, those are almost always a scam.
And what about the interview process itself? Is there any red flag there?
Yeah, I mean, especially if somebody asks you right away in the first interview for your personal information, like your social security, anything like that, your bank information, right in the first interview, that's a huge red flag. No legitimate business is going to ask you for that information until they've offered you the job, until you've accepted the job, then they're setting you up in their system. Of course, they need that for certain employment verifications, but that'll come later on in the process. If they ask you that right off the bat, then go ahead and walk away.
Well, Evie, here we are right before the July 4th holiday. Is there anything we should be aware of in that regard?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. Of course, anytime that there is excitement and opportunity and lots of money going around, scammers take notice. America is celebrating its 250th anniversary, which is amazing and so fun, and everybody's getting into celebrating that. But that means that scammers are using that as a way to target us. Right now, we're seeing a lot of online purchase scams with fake America 250th merchandise, memorabilia. One of the main ones is around coins, 250th anniversary coins. The US Mint has special release 250th anniversary coins. But of course, scammers are selling counterfeit commemorative coins. So the good thing to remember there is the only retailer that's selling it is the US Mint. That's the only place you can get those coins. And then it's just like what we see with college merchandise and NFL merchandise. There are authorized retailers or sellers of the US 250th anniversary memorabilia items. So, like bunting banners and flags and t shirts. A lot of the links that we're seeing in social media and emails and all that, those are actually just going to fake sites. So just be really careful with anything that you're buying online for the big celebration coming up. Just make sure you're buying from an authorized retailer.
Evie, how can the BBB scam tracker help us identify the frauds?
Yeah, the BBB scam tracker is such an awesome tool. It is our place that we accept reports of scams. So if you as a consumer have been targeted by a scam, you can submit a report to it. And then that's also where you can look up scam. We also have a new heat map there that shows where scams are being targeted around the country right now. But it's so important to report to the scam tracker. It's important to report to local authorities and, of course, your banking institutions if you've lost money. But it's important to report to BBB Scam Tracker so that we can get the word out and help others not fall victim to it. So when we start seeing these scams come in, just like America's 250th, I started seeing reports about online purchase scams there. So I made sure to start getting the word out about that. You can always go to bbb.org. There is a link right there on our homepage to the scam tracker. If you want to go directly to the scam tracker, that's bbb.org/scam tracker.
It's always great to get your advice for consumers, Evie. Thank you for your visit today.
I don't want anybody to lose money, especially right now when every dollar counts so much. Happy 4th, Carolyn.
That was Evie Owen, Vice President of the Better Business Bureau for South Alabama. More information is at the website bbb.org. Thanks for joining us for the Exchange on In Focus, which is a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Carolyn Hutchison, and this is listener-supported Troy Public Radio.